All right, drone video of a big tract, 30-acre property, Tract 20 at the White Ranch project. We're looking west on the easement road. The property's on the left. This is basically at the very end of the easement road, so we're actually taking off from a cul-de-sac, from a turnaround point. The timber that you see on the side of the road, that's not from any logging. That's from the road being widened and improved. Looking south, that's the private driveway. Leads directly onto the property. We're looking at part of the road frontage. This actually has about 130 feet of direct road frontage. And as we look east, property on the right, where the gravel stops, if you look right above that, that's the power line. So power's within a few feet of the property. I mean, it's here. You're going to see some beautiful pine trees, beautiful hardwood trees on this tract. It is gorgeous. Some smaller pines right there. So this does have the private driveway that goes in. Well, I think we'll do that in a minute here with the drone. This is a super long drone video. This is almost 11 minutes. So I think there is a lot to see on this property, and that's why we kind of did the super powered drone video. Look at those big pines poking up there, looking south. This tract, more than any other we've seen out here, has the potential for just an amazing view to the south from this north side. The driveway goes in, and then about 100 feet off the road, you've got the first clearing, small clearing, and even as is, there's a beautiful view to the south. If some of the timber were thinned out, you'd have an even better view. And then there's a secondary site down by the creek bed as well, and I'm sure we'll see that. So that little site, big enough to pull in with the truck and get turned around. I don't know if we're going to take a look at that or not. I don't know if we're going to drop down there and see the view. No, maybe. And this property does have Pine Creek crossing across the northern part. So I'm not sure if we'll see that in the drone video. Maybe. It is a named creek. It's Pine Creek. It's going to be a seasonal creek, so it will have water in it at different times throughout the year. It's beautiful. There's some awesome rock formations, and we found fossils and all kinds of cool stuff. The guys have found a couple arrowheads out here. I don't know if it's on this particular tract, although maybe they did find them in Pine Creek. So it could have been this one, or it could have been one of the tracks a little bit west. So flying southerly. The driveway from that first site slopes down as you go toward Pine Creek, and then you've got that second site right there, which is very close to the creek bed. The sites have been roughed in. If you've got a four-wheel drive, you should be able to get to either one. Looking southerly here. And we do happen to know a guy right in the immediate area with a bulldozer. He's really good. He's really reasonable. So if you need some dirt work done, or want some trails or sites, or or whatnot, we'd be happy to pass along his info. We've been very happy with the work that he's done for us. Unfortunately, it was pretty overcast when this video was taken, but we're still going to get a good look at the timber on this property, some of the timber. So flying southerly, we've crossed over the creek bed, and it looks like the property is gradually rising back up. Again, it's a mixture of hardwood and pine trees. So you're going to have red oak, white oak, hickory. We saw pecan trees out here. Yeah, you'll have all types of different trees, and beautiful mature pine trees, which was really exciting for us to see. Kind of a natural opening there. The deer and the turkey population out here is phenomenal. This tract is part of course, of the White Ranch project, which is just 20 tracts. This is Tract 20, and essentially they're part of a larger tract that was used just for hunting for decades. and just a small group of guys, 2 or 3 or 4 guys that use this. So I mean, you're likely to find deer stands, old deer stands or whatnot on the property. They did a lot of wildlife management, and so the deer are just all over. The turkey as well. So now we're kind of looking northerly. You can see the cleared site off to the left there in the distance. We're looking northerly, but we're drifting easterly. Can't recall if we mentioned it in this video, but the property is surveyed with the corners marked. That's not a requirement when you're buying or selling a property, but it's generally a pretty good investment, and in this case we've made that investment for you. So it is surveyed with the corners marked, as we said, and it is 30 acres in size. So if you see that cleared line right there running from the bottom right to the top right, that's going to be on essentially the east line of the property. That's an old fence line. So the property would be on the left side of that clearing as we look to the north. There may as well be an old fence line on the south side of the property. We're not sure about that without looking at some of the other maps and whatnot, but either way, it is surveyed with the corners marked, so I mean, you're covered there. I'm not sure what we're looking at here. Maybe just checking out the general area. Extremely private. The fact that the easement road is a private easement road is awesome. It dead ends essentially at the property, at the cul-de-sac. So access is only for property owners and their guests. As we look northerly, the property is on the left side of that cleared line that you see. So whether you're buying this to hunt or to camp or potentially to build at some point, being a private easement road and ending right at the property is great. I mean, we talk to hunters who literally use their property once or twice a year for hunting season, and they are always looking for stuff on a private road. Just more security, more privacy that way. So in this case, you do have that. And I'm really not sure what we're doing here, but property is basically on the left side of the screen. And even just this shot right here, we've got, looks like 8 or 10 different species of trees. It's just fun on a property like this to walk through the woods and look at the different trees, and you'll find all types of different nuts on the ground. So obviously acorns, but we've found chestnuts and pecans and walnuts, and nice to see a property with nice timber. More and more when we look at properties, especially the last 5 or 6 years, there has been a lot of tracts that have been logged heavily, and we don't have anything against that. In fact, we sometimes do work with tracts that have been logged heavily, but it's nice to see a property that hasn't had any recent logging on it, like this one. So obviously, other than the easement road being improved and the driveway and sites on this property, I mean, there hasn't been any logging that we could see. So that's going to be the site down by Pine Creek. And there's the driveway which leads up northerly. And there in the distance you can see the other site, which is roughly 100 feet south of the easement road. It's just handy to have the driveway and the site, especially with that upper site. I mean, you can at least get right off the road. You don't have to mess around. Could probably park your camper or RV right there, subject to the basic setbacks from the road, which I believe is 100 feet out here. So yeah, end of the road privacy, big tract. We're about 20 miles south of West Plains, Missouri, which is, I guess, the biggest regional city. The property is in northernmost Fulton County, Arkansas. So the county seat for Fulton County, Arkansas is Salem, Arkansas, which is 10 or 15 miles to the south. And Salem does have a couple restaurants and stores, and of course the county courthouse. But West Plains, Missouri is actually the bigger regional town. It's bigger than Salem. So here we can get a taste of the potential view from that cleared site on the north part of the property. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Awesome tract. If you have any questions, definitely check out the full listing page, but you can send us an email, you can give us a call. We would love to talk to you about this 30 acres if it's still available.